off the bay with a dink. Probably 8.5 inches or so. That's a good start. Using a special rod here. That's some JB weld where it was broken, and I stuck it in there and repaired it, and the tip's been broken off before. I just glued it back on. Really doesn't matter. I guess I could afford a new rod, but it's fine. Used to be a 12-footer, probably about 11 and a half. It's close enough. Knowing that about me, it's probably guessable that there's not a live scope up here. I'm not anti-live scope. I just can't afford one. But yeah, I'm not against people who can and do have them. It'd be a lot of fun, I'm sure. There's one. That's a nicer one there. At least he's fighting harder. Kind of tangled in a stump. That's alright. We'll hit him or we'll not. He got off. And he took my stupid tube with him. Darn. Oh well. Such is life. I have more of those rigged up, but be an excellent time to demonstrate how to make a stupid tube for anybody who doesn't know what this is. And I don't normally do such things, but thought I would try it recently. Take the tube jig, sorry, got it out of frame there. Tape the tube jig, bend those little legs out of the way where the hole was there. I almost did that backwards. Stick the head of the jig up in the hole. Push the tube up. On the jig head. I'm trying to keep this in the camera frame, so it's really not hard. I may make it appear so. Keep pushing it up on there. Eventually, when the jig head is toward the end of the tube, pull down hard till the eyelet comes through, and there it is. A stupid crappie jig. You're welcome. Get this tied on. Probably nobody needs to see this, but we're gonna tie this with a loop knot like you would, or like I guess most people would do. You don't have to. It'll work with a clench knot. You just, in spite of what people say. Grab that once, twice, 3 times. 3's the magic number that everybody uses. Pull it down close to tight. Make sure you get the line off of the jig eyelet. Cut that tag line, and there's the loop knot. It's supposed to make it sit like that in the water. I suppose it does somewhat, but if you tie down a clench knot right there, it'll do the same thing. Or Palomar, or any other type of knot. Okay. There's one. Little dink. Another little dink. Could actually be legal size, I suppose. Probably a 9, which is all I gotta be, but he's pretty small. He may not actually be a 9. Let's put him down here and see what he measures out. Yep, he's like, he's a 9.5 if you stretch him. But anyway, there's not much meat on a 9-inch crappie, and I'm not here for food today. And back on the subject of live scope and how it's gonna ruin fishing. Live scope doesn't ruin fishing. It does, I mean, it gives people an advantage. Even though the old saying, you can, just cause you can see them don't mean you can make them bite. It makes your odds a lot better. Wondering if you're fishing where fish are and knowing that fish are there. But a lot of people, a lot of the ones who are anti-live scope, will be back in the day. I used to go out on that river. Heck, I'd catch 300 or 400 crappie a year. My neighbors would have fish. Everybody had so many fish they didn't even want them anymore. I'd throw them in the ditch on the way home. Now I can't catch nothing. That stupid Corps can't manage the water. It's people's greed that ruins the fishery more so than any technology, for that matter. Facebook ruins fishing because everybody wants to have a good picture for their Facebook posting of all the fish they caught, so they keep everything. It's not technology. It's not everyone. In fact, it's just human nature more that ruins the fishing than anything. Having said that, I'm not a purist myself. If I wanted to keep some crappie to eat, I would keep them to eat. I just got some in the refrigerator now. Time to fishing. I don't need any. There's nothing wrong with keeping and eating them. In fact, I don't know what it'd do to the fishery if you didn't. I'm not a fisheries manager. As someone who has no real skill in fishing, one thing I do know is you catch a lot more if you are fishing than if you're not. That's a good crappie right there. My fishing is similar to the old adage that even a blind squirrel gets an acorn once in a while. If you go fishing often enough, you will eventually catch something. Well, that one right there's got some meat on him. It's a good crappie. He is a little over 14 inches. He's a nice one. And yes, if I was in the mood, I would eat him. Look at him. Woohoo! Look at that one. Son. Now that one I may just have to keep and eat it. Take a little break, get gloved up. Sunscreen on before I get burnt. Sorry about the hind view. I also don't own a GoPro or a wearable camera. I'm not a YouTuber. I just have my old video camera sitting on a tripod in the back, hoping I don't knock it into the water. I've done it. Lost at least a couple of cameras, knocking them over in the water. It doesn't take but a second, and they don't work anymore. At least these guys. When I get serious about this thing, maybe I'll get a live scope and a GoPro camera, and mortgage my house and pay for them. You want a phone? Yeah, we got him. He's pretty nice. I don't know if I don't lose him when I get around this stump. He's pretty well hooked, but I've learned if I'm really wanting to get a crappie in, I don't chance it. How hard was it to grab that net? Another good one. Oh, kick it around. We'll see what he is. I mean, he's a fish, but he is right at 14. Another nice one. I'm floating over in my fishing hole. Get out of it. I will say this. Time is not a constant. I can pull into a spot that I want to fish for 20 minutes or so, and come out and 3 hours have gone by. I can go to work at 6:30 in the morning, work 5 or 6 hours, look up, and it's 9:30. So time's not constant. It's what switches depending on what it is you're doing. Got one. He's some. Probably 9.5 to 10. We'll measure him too. I don't know, he's looking smaller. He might pull a 9.5. And he's about a 9.5 exactly. Whee! Fun. Don't mind him at all. Okay. I'm not near about through fishing, but I am about through filming, so we'll see where else I might go. Check wind directions and see if I can get out of it again. Anyway, stupid tubing will work for crappie.